Happy Monday. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name's Ryan, and I buy and sell stuff from thrift stores, yard sales, garage sales, similar places. Flip it online for a few extra bucks. I had a really fun find that I'm interested to see how it does from Friday, and sold some bread and butter items, and I'll talk about that for a few minutes. So, we're going to talk about sales, and we're going to talk about sales first. That's what we're going to do. So, anyway, first up, my two bread and butter items are toys and books. I sell a lot of toys and a lot of books. Mostly books because they're cheaper and easier to get your hands on. And I know what I'm buying. Toys not so much because people are actually a little more aware nowadays of toy values and how to resell them. But paper books, still good finds. Still good things to flip. This is Eye of the World, book 1 of the Wheel of Time. And this one went for $13. This is in really good shape. I think I may have sold 5 copies of this in the past 12 months of Eye of the World, ranging between $9 and $13. So, Wheel of Time book, and I've sold probably 20 Wheel of Time books, and I don't think I'm exaggerating on that much. I grab them every time, and I have a few that haven't sold real lately, but I think they will in the next 3 months. Grab them when you see them. I want to say particularly the early books and the late books. The ones in the middle, there's like 15 because he couldn't quit. Robert Jordan, by all accounts, is a decent dude, but he couldn't help himself. And the middle books of the series are a little bit of a drudge. And then it started getting better at the end. I'm actually working my way through it. Hopefully, in the next few years. But by the end, when he passed off to Brandon Sanderson, who specializes in doorstop style books, who was the right guy to take it over, finished it up really well apparently. So apparently that's the story by Wheel of Time. Good series. First 3 books are really good. I think I would have enjoyed them if I read them when I was a teenager and not as a 40-year-old dude. Because there's a little bit of a whiny teenager thing in them as the characters grow and mature, and it irritates me sometimes, but it's the way they are. Anyway, next up is my other bread and butter. Toys! These are Paw Patrol. Kind of hadn't gone out of style that much in the last decade or so. But this is about 10, 12 figures here and a couple of vehicles. Went for $20. They're the type of thing, I'll pick them up when they're $1 a piece, and you can lot them up and sell them. I don't know that I'm going to pick the vehicles up anymore. They're a little bulky and they're not worth as much. But I am going to keep grabbing the figures to lot up because those will go $1 to $3 a figure, and I don't know if there's any chase figures in as in like hard to find, not as in the character figures in the Paw Patrol realm. That's a rare figure that is usually, so you get a box of, for those of you who don't know, a chase figure is in the toy collecting world is a store will get a case of figures. And you get 12. Say you get 12 of each type. Well, one type you may only get 5 in that box, or 6, or 2, or 1, and that one has a higher value, and guys chase it. So that's that. So anyway, fines. That's for the kids. This was a fun. Like, I got some weird stuff this go around. Some different stuff. So we're going to go over that. First off is this Star Wars Death Troopers. It's a Star Wars horror zombie novel. And actually, a lot of the modern Star Wars paperbacks aren't worth a ton. This one's actually, it's a little beat up. I may give it to I may give it to a friend of mine, but this is like a $9 to $12 book if it's in really good shape. So, something to think about whenever you look. I look up Star Wars books. I know to get some of the old ones, but not all of them. I'm actually a little surprised that some of the older ones haven't gone up in value. But some of them actually weren't all that good, too. So, but Heir to the Empire series, the old one from the 90s, like kind of when everything restarted again, those are worth getting. But next is this, the Braille Enthusiast Dictionary. I think this is like a $50 book. So I'm going to try to get this listed this afternoon. It's not Braille as in you can't tell by touching it. It's just the dictionary so you can like sight read it. I actually don't know how well Braille books do, and I'm betting those have some reasonable value to them. But Braille Enthusiast Dictionary, and this will be $50, give or take. Finally, a very curious find, and I kind of snagged it because I kind of thought I knew what I was looking for. What else is in here? What's that book? Oh, David Eddings' book. I got to throw in a lot or something. But this is a Winnie the Pooh Danny backpack. It's not a something fly. I don't know, but it's that leatherette feel, good quality backpack. It's good shape. It was $15, and I looked it up, and there was only one other one for sale on eBay, and there actually wasn't that many of this style for sale at all. And the one on eBay was like $110. So I'm gonna put this up for probably $99.99. See what happens. I also need to make sure that Danny doesn't get zeroed, because that'll be irritating. But that also makes me wonder if I could find something like the Real or someplace like that I could sell it if Danny likes to Vero things for stupid reasons. So anyway, Danny, women's purse backpack thingy. We'll give it a shot. It's what's really weird, really interesting, is I make my bread and butter money is toys and books in the $10 to $20 range, give or take. Do that all day, every time, almost every day. It seems that if I sell something, it's going to be in that range. And need coffee. But the high dollar items I find are rarely books, or I'm not going to say rarely, but half the time they're books, half the time they're weird stuff like this backpack, like that weird stool I sold back in December for $300 something bucks. So keep that in mind when you're doing your searching and looking for stuff that be willing to branch out. The more I do this, the more I think people, when you're starting out, you niche down. You find some stuff to specialize in. Do your hobbies and the stuff you already know and the stuff laying around your house. Start with stuff that's easy. And then start adding to your knowledge base. Niche up. Add. Like, I started really with toys. Didn't know much about books. And then the more we got into homeschooling, the more I learned about books that were useful for homeschooling. And the more I was like, I can start looking these up. And I knew enough about science fiction that it's like, okay, I'll look and start doing science fiction books, and whenever I find them and know that they're worth something, and started growing it and growing the knowledge base. So niching, and this is starting to get more kind of common knowledge, is you have everything sellers and niche sellers. Well, the more you find out about niche sellers is they're probably actually everything sellers that got a really good source for a niche. And niching is about sourcing. And if you can't find a source for a niche, I'd sell 80s toys all day long. But you can't source them. You can't find them all that well. You grab them when you get them. And other than, like, there's a few guys out there that do a lot better job at sourcing, and they've got maybe some secrets and tricks of the trade, and they've got, they may even have a local comic brick and mortar that people actually come into. Hey, how much you take for this stuff? And they jump on the bulk lots faster than the rest of us. That's fine. And so the rest of us got to figure out where to grab opportunities when they pop up, and snag the 1s and 2s and 3s when we get them. Like the action figures I got last couple of weeks. So that's kind of how that works when you're reselling. So start with what you know, build on it. Because if you don't build on it, you're just going to kind of get stuck with one thing unless you can source it. So that's how it goes. Anyway, we all got work to do because it's Monday. Go out there, kick Monday's butt. Have a good one. Oh, like, comment, subscribe. I don't say that enough, apparently. Because y'all don't do it. Bye.